My flesh and my heart fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Psalm 73 is an honest psalm. The writer, Asaph, starts out struggling with something many people wrestle with. He looks around and sees wicked people prospering while the righteous suffer. It bothers him. It confuses him. For a while, it almost shakes his faith. He even admits earlier in the psalm that his feet had nearly slipped. In other words, he almost lost his footing. But later in the psalm, after reflecting on God's truth and seeing things from a broader perspective, Asaph reaches this conclusion. Even when everything else weakens, God remains the steady foundation. My flesh and my heart fail. That's a very realistic statement. The Bible doesn't pretend that human beings are endlessly strong. Our bodies get tired. Our emotions get overwhelmed. Our understanding runs out. There are seasons when both physical strength and emotional strength seem to collapse at the same time. Anyone who has lived long enough has experienced moments like that. Think about riding a bicycle on a long ride when your legs start to give out. At first, the pedaling feels strong and steady. But after mile, your muscles begin to burn and slow down. Eventually, you realize your own strength is reaching its limit. That's what Asaph is describing here. Human strength has limits. But the verse doesn't stop there. God is the strength of my heart. In other words, when human strength runs out, God becomes the source of strength that carries a person forward. The strength described here is not just physical endurance. It's inner stability. The kind that allows someone to keep trusting God even when life becomes difficult or confusing. Then Asaph says something else. My portion forever. In biblical language, a portion refers to what someone receives as their inheritance or share. Asaph is saying that his ultimate security and satisfaction are not found in possessions, success, or circumstances. His portion is God Himself. That perspective changes everything. If someone believes their portion is wealth, status, or comfort, then losing those things feels like losing everything. But when God is the portion, circumstances no longer define the ultimate outcome. God remains. For believers today, this verse carries a clear reminder. First, it's normal for human strength to fail at times. The Bible openly acknowledges that people grow tired, discouraged, and overwhelmed. Second, when personal strength fades, God remains the source of inner strength. Trust in Him becomes the stabilizing force that keeps a person moving forward. And third, God Himself is the lasting inheritance of those who belong to Him. Earthly things come and go, but God's presence and faithfulness do not change. So when the road of life becomes exhausting and the strength you normally rely on starts to give out, this verse reminds us of something important. Your strength does not ultimately come from yourself. God is the strength of your heart. And if He is your portion forever, then even the hardest stretches of the ride are not the end of the journey. Until next time, Abba willing, Shalom, Shalom.